My life is over unless I decide right now to give up this story, to give up this mindset, and just decide that I'm going to make my life the richest thing it could be.
It's in a moment. It's in a flash of a second. The pain hits, and now this is the moment of reinvention.
You need to make a decision.
You make the decision how long you want to stay in the pain and keep repeating the process over and over again, or completely reinvent yourself. You make that choice.
Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is, but only on the terms that you have invented and reinvented. Be self-taught and reinvent your life because you must. It is your life, and its history and the present belong only to you.
I teach people that daily you have to prime yourself. You have to do something for 10 minutes minimum. If you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. I prime myself. That's what I've done for years. It's like I change my body to this radical breathing pattern or movement. There's many ways to do it. But then I do through 10 minutes. And I do, it usually goes more because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes is how I get myself to do it. 3.5 minutes of pure gratitude about 3 things. And I pick one of those 3 to be simple, because I don't want to be the astronaut that, he went to the moon, that was his idea of adventure, and then they all come back and were depressed because what do I do for the rest of my life? So the wind in my face, my children's faces, anything. And the reason for gratitude is the 2 emotions that mess us up the most are fear and anger. And you can't be grateful and fearful simultaneously. They don't go together. And you can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. So if you literally start your day cultivating that, this is the part I was talking about, creating a highway to happiness.
Yeah.
And then I do 3 minutes of my 3 to thrive. What are 3 outcomes or results I'm really committed to, and I see them as done and fulfilled. And in 10 minutes.
For that day?
I usually look at something at 6 months to 12 months out. Wow. Something that's a little bigger. And then, but I feel is fulfilled and done, and I give thanks for it. And you're at the end of those 10 minutes, and usually it's 15 or 18 for me, I am so wired. Now, I've done that for years. It's been the base of me. What's different with suffering is measuring it moment to moment, Oprah. And then the third one for me is, okay, how do I love more? Because love to me is an action. It's not a word. It's not an emotion. It's like, if you love, you act accordingly. So love, and what can I do in a loving way, and what can I be grateful for? And that little 3-step process ends the suffering.
When you want to excel at something, what must you have? You know what passion is? Passion is an emotion. It's an emotion without an action. Passion will get you nowhere. Inner drive will get you nowhere unless you act on it. You have to act on your passion. You have to act on your inner drive. Don't let those feelings stay inside of you. You got to know what to do with them. You got to know how to make them work in order to get what you want. Don't keep it inside. Good, great, unstoppable. Every team, every work atmosphere, no matter what you do, must consist of those 3 personalities. If you have those 3 personalities and you can identify the individuals that have those 3 personalities, you're guaranteed success in whatever you do. Remember, the mind controls the body does not control the mind. This is about being able to think like a champion, know what goes on in their heads, understand how you can relate it to your business and whatever you do to take yourself to the next level.
You know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. You just said you're giving 50%. You owe you an explanation. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. And I stopped being a victim. Stop saying, I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. I have standards. I have values.
Why most people never achieve their goals, while 2 or 3% really achieve a high level of success, and another percentage reaches a decent level of success, but most people pretty much live an average life. People who took this one action every single day were the ones who achieved their goals and dreams more often than anybody else. The people who learn how to prime their brain every single day to take the actions that they should take, the people who prime their brain to visualize the obstacles that are in the way of their goals and visualize them overcoming their obstacles because they've created a plan and thought about it in advance, are the ones who achieve the goals and dreams that they set. You could have an obstacle around what you believe. You could have an obstacle of other people. You could have an obstacle that you don't have the knowledge or the skill. But if you have a goal and you write down the obstacles and then you use the powerful, amazing brain that you've got to visualize yourself meeting the obstacle and figuring out a way to overcome the obstacle, your brain starts to work in your advantage and starts to believe that you can actually achieve the goal and overcome the obstacles. Take a few moments and just write down one goal, then write down 3 or 4 or 5 obstacles that could come in your way. Then you write down, all right, the outcomes that you want, and you visualize yourself overcoming the obstacles by closing your eyes and just seeing that obstacle in front of you, and then you jumping over it, you reaching over it, you figuring out the problem, you getting help to achieve that goal. And when you do that, you're going to give your brain all of the power that it needs in order to help you figure out how to overcome the obstacles. And in order to become an amazing goal achiever, you have to accept the fact that there will be obstacles, but you also have to prime your brain to recognize the obstacles and to teach it that you can overcome it. And you can do that in your mind first, and you back it up with a plan. And guess what? You will start to become a goal achiever instead of just somebody who sets a goal. Let go of all the stuff that's not working and really make a big difference in your life and your family's life and in the lives of people in your community.
So when you talk about making your dash dance, point 1, you got to be willing to do it afraid. See, you might be waiting for the fear to stop. So many times we're waiting. I'm waiting to get something right. I see your hands going up. You guys know if it's your truth, you can raise your hand just like we did on day 0. You're just kind of waiting. You're waiting to get everything in order. You're waiting so that everything is in you, it's together. You're waiting to not be afraid. You're waiting to have the courage. You're waiting to have all the money. You're waiting to lose weight. I'm afraid, what do? Do it anyway. I'm afraid I don't quite know if I should move. Move anyway. I don't know if I should leap. Leap afraid. And then gather your courage on the way down. And if you don't get it before you hit, you was gonna hit anyway. I'd rather die leaping than on the edge figuring out how to get the courage to leap. How does that look? Because your 80% of right is somebody else's 159% of what they needed. When you want to do it right and you want to wait till you're not afraid and you want to wait till you have it all together, oh, you made it about you again. See, Nelson Mandela did it. He just did it not knowing if it were right. Mahatma Gandhi just did it not knowing if it were right. Mother Teresa just did it not looking for affirmation or confirmation. Is this right? Martin Luther King did it not even knowing if it would happen before his life ended. I mean, what are you waiting on? Are you willing to do it afraid? Are you willing to do it knowing that you got so much work to do to get it better, to get it more perfect? But are you willing to do it inside your imperfection? Do you realize that in your imperfection, you're perfect for the job?